afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming back to another episode of our podcast, A While Back. Today, we've been graced with my niece, Kate. She's the oldest granddaughter in the family, and Kate is also a millennial. Correct, Kate?
Nope.
You're not a millennial?
No.
I thought you were a millennial.
I'm like right at the cutoff.
Oh,
Millennial.
okay. Never mind. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. But so Kate is not a millennial. She is
Right.
Generation Z.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I'm glad you corrected me right away. All right, but what we're going to be doing today is we're going to talk to Kate. We're going to talk to her about her past sports. We're going to talk to her about where she graduated from college, what her career aspirations are going to be. And it's going to kind of flow along the same kind of lines with all the other grandchildren. So a lot of this will not be a surprise to Kate, but there will be a couple of them. So first off, I want to go over the title of this episode. Today's title is Her Royal Highness Princess Kate. So that is, I figured you would like that. If anybody would like it, I figured you would like it. So that is the title for Kate's first episode. We're going to be doing an episode with Kate later on, somewhere down the line as well. And we'll have a specific, unique title for that as well. But first of all, Kate, let's go on and let you introduce yourself, okay?
Okay. My name is Kate. I'm currently living in San Antonio. I recently graduated from UTSA and just got my first job.
Outstanding. And what did you graduate? What was your degree in?
Community health.
Community health.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. Did you enjoy UTSA?
Yes, I liked it a lot.
Did you?
I really liked San Antonio enough where I'm living there now.
Exactly. You had to have liked it enough. All right. Now, for you, what is it like being the oldest girl in your family and also being the oldest granddaughter in the family? Because we had your sister Caroline on here a couple of episodes back, and Liney did a phenomenal job. So we're expecting the exact same from you. But what is it like being the oldest girl in the family?
I guess just as the oldest girl, I'll always be setting an example. I'll be the first girl to, go through everything. I always had the boys in front of me. The boys were the first to graduate,
right.
things like that, and just being the girl. I don't know. It's not too difficult, not too different as the boys, but I'll just always be an example for my sister and Sophia.
Absolutely.
Like Sophia wants her hair long like me.
Exactly.
Something like that. Caroline wants her hair long like me.
Wait. Caroline's not here to defend herself.
I know.
So don't go there. But yes, Sophia, because I know Sophia wants to be just like you.
That is definitely
She
true.
literally has the same hair, everything. So I see that in Sophia too. All right, now, does your sister get away with things that you weren't able to get away with because you were the firstborn daughter? And if you can, did you want to speak to some of those things?
Well, definitely, she has. Let me think of specifics. She just got away with everything. She can just leave the house whenever she wants. Like when I was in high school, I was a junior or senior, and I wanted to go Black Friday shopping with my friends.
Yes.
And I was just getting ready to leave. My parents were cool with it, and then Alec was like, "Where are you going?" He was super protective over me and everything, and he told on me, and I couldn't go Black Friday shopping that night. But now Caroline just gets to walk out whenever she wants, text them when she's there. Just left. So.
Okay, but remember, it's the same thing like in every family.
I know.
The first one, I know.
Yes.
The first one is the one that's under a lot stricter rules than the ones that come after, correct?
Correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think it's funny, though, that you brought up Alec. So,
Yes.
Alec was very protective of both of you.
Yes.
Right, but he wanted to make sure he was watching what you were doing.
Yes, he has my location. He had my location all of college. And I would get a call from him wherever I was.
Well, that's good, though. Protective older brother.
Yes.
All right, that's outstanding.
Yes.
So, now, and the reason I bring up Alec is because the next question. So, what's it like now to have a new sister in the family?
It's great. I've pictured Morgan, and it hasn't changed much over the years because I've seen Morgan as an older sister for as long as they've been dating, which was
6
like,
years?
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, exactly.
She was, they were dating when I was in high school, so I got
Mm-hmm.
to have Morgan as my older sister through, like, graduation, from high school graduation through
All the way
till
through
now.
college.
So,
Right.
yeah, it feels the same to me, like she's always been a part of the family.
Great. So, can you confide in her since she's older than you? Things that you wouldn't tell Caroline and those kind of things?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's outstanding. So, it's a blessing to have her there.
Yes, she really is like an older sister. And then she has a sister who's my exact age, and we get along great. We're saying things at the same time. It's kind of funny how,
well, that's
how
good.
similar we all are.
All right. So, how was the wedding?
Oh, it was perfect. Like, it's exactly how they wanted it to
Right.
be. It was small and intimate and a lot of fun. Just we got to spend a lot of time together. I wish it was there. I wish everyone could have been there.
Right.
But I know
we do
they.
too.
Yeah, but I know they had a good time.
It was
and I had a good time too.
The most important thing was it was what they had
wanted. Yeah.
Exactly. And Alec and Morgan were smart about it because they didn't spend a lot of money. They kept that money to themselves, which was brilliant on their part too. And Grandpa and Grandma got to go.
Right.
Yes.
Another thing I was going to ask you was Morgan, when you were at the school there, was Morgan teaching at that time or she wasn't there yet?
I think
I was
she
trying
was.
to. I think she was.
I
there,
think she was
right?
student teaching.
That's
or
what
she
I'm
was
thinking.
a
She was
teacher's aide or
student teaching,
something.
so you got to know her even more.
Yeah.
When you were going to high school.
Yeah, and that's when she. Yeah, that's when she started teaching in like the first and second grade, and I would be able to when I was off.
And you were just graduating.
Yeah, when I was like getting out of school early and stuff, I would go say hi to Mom at the library, and I could say hi to Morgan, like go peek into her classroom.
That's true because at one point there was 4 of you there, right?
5, Kyle.
Oh, how do I forget Kyle?
That's right.
I was just thinking of you, Caroline, your mom, Morgan. But yes, there was Kyle there too.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot that one, but oh well. So what was one of the best parts? What's one of the best parts about having a slightly older new sister in the family? What do you enjoy the most about having Morgan there now?
I just think I like taking her advice.
Good. All right.
Like she always gives good advice. She always has. Like everything I'm about to go through, or everything I was about to go through in college, she had just gone through, so she can kind of guide me the way, same way like I kind of can help Caroline with like when she was moving to San Antonio and things like that.
And you know, one of the things that Caroline did mention in her episode was the fact that on the very first day at UTSA, you did see her and you came up to her and you started talking to her. My first thought was that she was going to say, yes. Well, I think Grandpa even had the first thought. We thought that you were just going to ignore her.
I said, Kate
No.
gave her a big hug.
Yes, she
No,
did.
we actually went into a study room at the library. She looked all frazzled, and I was like,
oh,
okay, well,
no,
let's
she
just
did
go.
not.
Not in like a bad way, but like
Right,
it's all
right.
new to her. And I was like, let's go
Yes.
calm down. Let's get in, go to the library. Like, you can eat your lunch. We just sat there together in the study room and just like hung out.
Well, that was good.
Like right before our other class.
And the important part about that was that you made her feel comfortable on her first day. That was outstanding. So that you couldn't have done a better thing for her on that very first day. And I'm thinking more than likely that that's kind of the way Morgan is, because Morgan probably has, and knowing Morgan, I'm confident of it, she has your best interest at heart anytime she gives you advice. Correct? Just like Alan.
Yeah, that's why
The
I
exact same thing.
trust her, like everything she says.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so you grew up in Rockport. So what was it like growing up in a small town like Rockport?
It was interesting. It was really small, so to the point where everyone knew everything about everyone and their grandparents. It was interesting. Like, going to the grocery store, I would run into my second grade teacher.
Oh, wow.
That's just, I don't know how it was. It was
Right.
just like the people you saw that were in your life for a second, like you're just going to see them as long as you lived there.
Absolutely, yeah, as long as you stay there.
Yeah.
All right, good.
So everyone got to see us grow up. My mom recently talked to my second grade teacher, actually, because she still keeps in touch with our family. And so my mom was telling her how my sister and I, how our personalities are right now, and she got a kick out of it because she said that we were complete opposites when we were little.
Well, to be honest, when y'all were growing up in Rockport, you were a little bit of a tomboy compared
Yeah.
to what you were once you got to
Yeah,
Corpus and started being a
definitely.
city girl. And I think Liney kind of said the same thing for her too.
Mhm.
But you were a little bit of a tomboy, but you would chase, because at the house y'all had there at Rockport, y'all had
Mhm.
trees and y'all had everything growing up. And you would chase the boys and you throw stuff at them too and everything
Yes,
else.
it was growing up with
Absolutely.
7 older brothers.
Absolutely. You had no choice but to fight. Right.
Yeah.
So, and I
Playing
remember
the
that.
trampoline games. Oh my gosh. I was injured all the time. I have a scar on my lip from Jacob bouncing me so high on the trampoline. I came down head first on a spring. My tooth
Ooh.
went through my lip.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know if he remembers that.
But those were great times, right? You still have plenty of good memories
Yeah.
of those things. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was completely fine. I didn't tell anyone after that. We both were just like hiding. We were just like, we'll just wait for it to stop bleeding. We'll be good.
And that just wasn't going to happen, was it?
No.
All right. So now you are a very athletic young lady. Now tell us about all of the sports you've participated in. So start from when you were growing up in Rockport. What sports did you participate in all the way through to going into college?
Okay. So the very first one was soccer.
Okay.
Like from the very beginning, I remember I had a friend, Emma, and our families were really close, and we just one day were going to watch her play her soccer game, and I was just going as their friend to watch, and they were like, oh, we need another girl. Do you want to play? So they just like threw me a little jersey,
Right.
and I went out and played with them. So that was my first time playing, I think, any kind of organized sport, and I was probably in kindergarten or first grade.
Yep.
And then starting elementary school, at Sacred Heart in Rockport, we had tumbling as a part of our PE classes. So 2 days a week we would do tumbling, and then the other days we'd do
Wow.
PE. And so tumbling I got really into and was able to do. I was really little, and I was able to flip a lot. So
Oh, did you?
I was pretty good at tumbling.
So is that basically gymnastics and those kind of things you started? Okay.
Oh, that's what
So I was doing.
So you could do backflips and stuff like that too?
Yeah.
Really?
You don't remember that?
Oh, I do, but out here. I remember you doing it a couple
Yeah.
of times out here.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
do
learning. I
that
remember
now.
I learned my back handspring in 2nd grade, and like every year I learned something else. Like I think I was able to do standing like back tuck, standing front
Right.
tuck. I was able
Okay.
to do
I
flips.
do
but it was
remember you
because
doing the
I was
backflips
little.
out here.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So now,
Sure.
out of what other sports did you start to play after that? Because you became very good in a couple of sports in particular.
Yeah, so then I was in like 4th grade, I think, when I started softball because my friend did, and I wanted to play with her.
Right.
And so that's when I started softball and fell in love with that. And so we played that a lot in Rockport, and my dad
Right.
coached me until I was in until I played in middle school.
Did you also play in high school softball?
Yes,
You did,
I did.
okay. And what else did you play in high school?
And then that's when my love for volleyball grew. Once I went to middle school, then I played volleyball, basketball, softball,
Right.
all of them.
Right.
And I guess I just played all of them my whole life, really.
All right, so now this is an important question because I think I already know the answer. But so out of all the sports you played, including the gymnastics and those kind of things, what was your favorite sport?
Volleyball.
I knew you were going to say that.
Mhm.
So go on and tell us why you enjoyed volleyball so much. Why was it your favorite out of all of them?
I think I liked volleyball so much because I just liked the feeling of hitting the ball hard. I liked that, and I liked that my dad didn't know anything about it.
Well, starting out, maybe. No, hold on, wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to correct you on that. Because your dad and I used to play in high school on weekends.
Outside?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he was a really good player. So
Yeah.
I know your dad knew plenty about volleyball.
Yeah, he didn't
Now-
know about that.
Technically, fouls and things like that, no, we
He
didn't do
didn't.
too much with that. But we were guys. You didn't
Yeah,
worry
I
about
know.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he knew how to play very good.
He was calling pitches behind home plate when I was pitching,
Yes.
like Little League softball.
Right.
And so he was like my hitting coach, my pitching coach. He was always there.
Well, he played baseball too.
Yeah,
Right.
and then same with basketball. We were always playing like horse and stuff, and he was always like correcting my form. He
Right.
knew nothing about volleyball.
So you were on your own for volleyball, is
Yes.
what you said? Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. For you, and I did the same thing with Liney, so I want to make sure that you fully understand this as well. You were probably on your team the most powerful hitter on that team that I remember. And I'm going to be, this is truthful too, because I told Lionel the exact same thing. You and Caroline, and of course I saw your games before Caroline's, but you were up against the net, literally with your face right there against it. No fear. No fear at all. So when the opposition was coming to the net to spike it, you had your hands up in the air and you were with your face up there too. You weren't scared of it. I mean, I can't tell you how many times your dad jumped up, I jumped up, and we were hooting and hollering and clapping like crazy. Because you don't expect to see that from young ladies. Most of them are scared to death to even go near the net. Not you. You would keep your face in it, and when it came time to spike it, you were up there with a powerful arm knocking it down. So I always remember those things about you. And Caroline, too. Caroline was athletic because she was quick and fast, but you, I remember the powerful arm where you could just drive it home with no problems at all.
And the most important thing I remember when I love watching you and Caroline, when they'd spike the ball and y'all be over there in the middle, y'all could pick it up with y'all hands.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yep. Now, this is one thing that I don't like to talk about, but I asked Caroline the same question. So, unfortunately, you did have an injury. Now, how did this injury change your future plans that you may have had going to play college sports? Or did you not see yourself initially not even going to play college sports?
Well, okay, so I started, my first injury was my junior year of high school, and I kind of wanted to play whatever sport I could make it in. I kind of wanted to play whatever in college, but I didn't think too much about it.
Right.
So it was my junior year when I remember right before this game, I was talking to one of my friends, and I jinxed myself because I realized I had never had a break my whole life. I was always going from volleyball season to basketball season to softball season, all three in the summer. And I remember right before this game, I told my friend, I wonder what it'd be like to just sprain an ankle and be out for a week or two. That might be nice.
Oh, no.
And that game, I blew out my ACL.
Ooh.
I blew out my knee. And then after that it took me a year to whatever the word is, to get back. And I didn't think I was going to be as good, but I turned out to be better at volleyball before. And that's when I decided I wanted to keep playing, and if I could make it to the college level, I would. And so I started talking to more coaches, but in the first season of my senior year games, I tore my other ACL.
Right. And I remember the one that we were there for at that one specific game.
Yeah.
That was painful because I remember, I can literally still picture it in my mind the exact minute that it happened. And I remember you just with your jaw dropped, you could just see you were about to scream in pain, and you were trying to get to the bleachers. I remember your dad getting up right away, and he went down there to get you and put you on the bleachers as well. That was very bad. I hated to see that.
Yeah,
but
scary.
It was a successful surgery. You rehabbed successfully, and now do you have any problems at all with your knees?
No, they ache when it rains. I can tell when it's raining or when it's gonna rain or when it's gonna get cold. But that's about it.
I thought those kind of things were old wives' tales and stuff, but
no, it really does.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Especially me, because I like to sit on my legs a lot and sit cross-legged, and so I can feel it if I'm getting up from that position, and my legs kind of ache a little bit. So I can tell if it's gonna be cold tomorrow or what.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember from my broken ribs, every once in a while it'd be like an electrical shock hit me in the ribs every so often.
So, how old were you when you first started working? And what was your first job? Do you remember?
First job was a lifeguard at Schlitterbahn.
Okay.
And I was 17, probably 17.
17?
Yeah.
Right.
As soon as I could work, I really started to.
Well, you've had a couple of different jobs as lifeguards, correct? So what was the other ones that you'd had?
So I was a lifeguard at Schlitterbahn first, and that was really horrible. So then I went to just another little community pool in Corpus.
Right.
And I was a lifeguard there, and then there's where I learned how to teach swim lessons. And Morgan helped me with that a lot because she had taught swim lessons and she was a lifeguard before.
Okay, good.
So she helped me with the curriculum for teaching kids how to swim. So after that, I went to college in San Antonio, And my first job at UTSA was lifeguarding at the rec, and then I got a job eventually with a nonprofit where I was coaching special needs kids how to swim.
That is outstanding. That is incredible. And I remember you telling me about that, and I was really surprised by that. I was like, wow, I can't believe that this young lady is that mature that she's doing that. I was really impressed by that. And can you hit your hair because you got a there you go, you got it. I didn't want you to go through the rest of the episode because I've had that happen to me too. All right, yeah, the fly, because there's a few of them around. Now, how did you like attending a private school? Because you've gone to private school your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one on top. So you gone to private school your entire life.
Uh-huh.
How did you enjoy private school as opposed to going to public school where you graduated from?
I liked that how small it was and it's able to like walk around. I eventually became good at it, like good at school because you just kind of get everything down, and it was also small that I was able to like adapt quickly.
Oh.
And I don't know, it was just
So then
pretty.
the high school that you went to is a college prep school anyway. So how do you think that helped you when you went to UTSA?
Definitely my study habits. Let me think. Time management, that was my big thing. It was really difficult for me to adjust to like learning how to manage my time once I got to college.
Because you were on your own.
Yeah, it was completely different. And I was one of the first from our family to like go off for school, so it was different, but I ended up getting over it.
Absolutely, you did a phenomenal job. So.
That's what I noticed too. Most kids say their study habits are the biggest thing from a private to a public school when they go to college.
For sure, and my writing skills.
Skills.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
Right, absolutely. Now you went to high school with your sister Caroline.
Yeah.
So how did you enjoy being in school because I think you only had her for 1 year that y'all were together, correct? So how did you enjoy school with Caroline?
I liked it because I was able to just like show her my way of doing things, and she was able to kind of like adapt to it. And as soon as I left, she was there. So like someone who was there at Incarnate or UTSA, they knew like one of us.
Well, like you said,
So
you were leading by
fun.
example, right? So that was perfect. All right.
Now, did y'all have any disputes getting to school on time? I mean, were one of y'all faster than the other, or were y'all both about ready to go at the same time?
So by the time she was a freshman, so when she was a freshman, I was a senior, and I had my first period off. So Caroline would go to school with my mom, and so she would wake up like an hour before me, and then leave an hour before me. And then I would get to school, and then a passing period, second period, I would see her wearing my shoes. I would see her wearing my belt. And we had a uniform, so it was like the little things like that I noticed. And it would make me so mad. Like, it would make, because I would do the same thing with her. So, like, our friends would see us, like, walking past each other, like, looking like we were going to kill each other for, like, one of us wearing one person's shoes. Socks, jacket, everything.
Well, what's the phrase? Imitation is the most important part. Sincerest form of flattery. There we go. So that should have been a compliment to you. Yeah. That was flattering.
That's the biggest issue.
So now, how does it feel to be a college graduate? What are you enjoying now about reaping all the rewards of your college life?
Right now, I like being able to do what I want with my time.
Right.
Like, it's all on you. Like, you get to choose when you go to the grocery store. You get to choose. Like, I don't know. I just don't like having to check in with someone all the time.
Right.
Or how I was, like, living with my parents, especially, like, during quarantine. It's not bad. It's just different. And it's different. I don't know. I kind of like it. Being
you just love your freedom. Exactly.
Yeah.
You just love your freedom now.
Yeah.
So tell us about your new job and who it's with.
So I work for 3M. They recently bought KCI.
Outstanding.
And I'm a the step right before medical sales. I'm my official title is Inside Sales Transition Specialist. So what I'll be doing is some sales, like selling the medical product. It's a wound vacuum. So I'll be selling and teaching people how to use the products that we have.
Good.
Yeah.
Outstanding. All right. So now, where do you see yourself? So where would you like to be 5-10 years from now in your career? With 3M, where would you like to be in that company in the next 5 to 10 years?
So when I got the position, I talked to them about like growth and like how people grow in the company normally from the position I'm starting at, and they say that they'll go like from the transition specialist, they'll either go to a clinical route or the business route, and I think I see myself going the business route, and I just want to do medical sales. And
well, that's outstanding.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean that's a very mature question to be asking your foreman, your boss, your supervisor at the time. So that's kudos to you. That's very good because that makes them understand that, oh, this young lady's in it for the long haul. She wants to progress. That's outstanding.
Besides that, I'm just gonna wait for. It's better for me if I don't plan everything because nothing ends up going exactly how you want. So just when opportunities present itself, I'll take advantage of those.
Well,
and these days you can't go wrong in the medical field. That's for sure.
No, absolutely not.
With everything going on that we have going on right now.
But that last statement you made, you realize you sound just like a millennial when you say something like that.
Well, I remember, I was thinking on the drive here, how every time I would come home from a holiday, like to Corpus, and we would all get together, you would ask me what my plan was. It changed every single year. 1 year I wanted to be a nurse. 1 year I wanted to do...
well, you were going to be a physical therapy. Right.
Yeah, and it changed every time you asked me.
Right.
So I was like, I'll just see what happens.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked great for you.
Right,
So that's
exactly.
outstanding. Good.
That is
All right.
true. You don't really know what's in store for you.
So are you looking to move from San Antonio anytime soon?
Not really.
Not really?
I
You're
mean,
okay with San Antonio?
I like San Antonio. I like Houston and Austin, the bigger cities.
Yeah,
I like them.
I asked Caroline the same question, and she said just about every other city but Houston. She doesn't want to go.
Yeah,
to
she doesn't
Houston.
like Houston for some
No,
reason.
she
I don't know
doesn't.
why.
Yeah.
But
So.
she wanted to go to college there for a little bit.
Well, she changed, so that's good. All right, so Dad, do you have any questions for Kate?
No, I think that's pretty much
You
covered.
think we covered about them all? Okay. So Kate, do you have any questions?
One thing I do want to say, we're happy to have you on this
Thank
podcast today, and we really enjoyed you coming down.
you.
I
Thank
know you
you
made a special trip for this, so thank you so much, Kate.
Thank
Love
you.
I wanted to say thank you too, but if you remember when we first started the first podcast, episode 1,
Yeah.
there was supposed to be a young lady with both Grandpa and I as her third generation. Do you remember what her name was?
But things change,
I
right, Kate?
Things change.
Exactly.
You can't have a plan.
Right.
Exactly. God forbid we had a plan in place.
Our
and it's not
plans
gonna work.
change, right?
But as Her Royal Highness Princess Kate, she has finally graced us with her presence today. And Kate, you did an outstanding job, a phenomenal job. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Now, before we end, did you have any kind of a question for Grandpa? Anything that you had lined up for him?
I was gonna ask him about the wine he makes.
Oh,
the wine.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm only 22 years old. I didn't realize you made wine, really.
Well, you
before
better
this.
get some from him because I think Zachary's
I don't
already
know
got a
how
bottle.
it started. How did
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
What?
That started from my dad, but I'm not that good at it.
Do you
But
stomp it with your feet?
no, I don't stomp them with my feet.
For some reason.
That I
did.
don't do. I think Daddy used to stomp it with his feet.
Really?
But I don't. I mean, I'd crush mine with my hands, but I think I'm gonna get me a press this coming year.
Okay, cool.
It's much easier to do it with a press than it is trying to squeeze them by hand.
Oh, you're different than me. I would have had Sophia and Tyler out there
No,
stomping.
yeah.
They would have loved that.
They would get a kick out of
but you
that.
don't know how those Mustang grapes, they itch when you get
Nah,
one
they're not my
itch.
kids. I'm okay with it.
I couldn't do that to them. They'd itch
I
for-
know. I'm
they'd
just
itch for
joking.
2 or 3 days.
All right. So, Kate, thank you. You did an
Uh-huh.
incredible job. You did a phenomenal job. Thank you. And we're going to have you back on the next episode where we're going to have several other questions. And if I'm not mistaken, I think those are about social media and other things that we're going to cover. Okay? But great job. Thank you.
Thank
Grandpa, what would you like to say?
Let me tell you something else.